It's straightforward. If you want to be ahead of 99% of people in the world, you need to be ready to do what most others won't. You're extraordinary, my friend. Now, I know this might sound cliche, but there's been a trend of videos popping up, all claiming to teach how to outpace 99% of people. The funny thing is, they all share the same basic advice. Set goals, stay disciplined, avoid distractions, try monk mode. Are we really being serious right now? Goals, people, goals. That's what made Bill Gates, right? Just goals. My mailman has goals, my housekeeper is disciplined, and everyone tries to minimize distractions. These aren't exactly things that set you apart from the crowd. And monk mode? Really? If you look at the most successful people, none of them live in some monastic way. Let's be honest. If something is widely discussed in hundreds of YouTube videos, it's not going to make you more successful than 99% of others by default. To truly surpass everyone else, you must do what others won't. Here's a harsh reality. Most productivity tips and morning routines don't matter as much as people think. To illustrate, I'll share some of the basic habits of history's most successful individuals, starting with myself. When I began my business, my morning started at 11 a.m. with a can of Red Bull and Reese's Cups, staying in bed for 2 more hours while working on my laptop. Ambition, right? For 3 years, I built a 6-figure business doing just that in my mid-20s. In the first part of this video, I'll explain what truly makes someone more successful than 99% of people. But before you get too excited, let me also share why you might not want to be in that top 1% at all. Because, like many important things in life, success isn't straightforward, it's complex. So, let's break it down. To stand out, you need to 1. Have an unconventional idea, 2. Be correct about it, and 3. Act on it in a significant way. Let's start with the first point. The truth is, most people never have a truly unique idea. Many just go with the flow, agreeing with whatever their friends think is popular that week. Yet, there's a small group who dare to think differently, even if their ideas seem wild. Now, moving to the second point, even among those who think outside the box, most unconventional ideas are wrong. They're not just wrong, they're laughably incorrect. The hardest part of achieving remarkable success is disagreeing with the crowd and still being right. And when you are right, you need to have the courage to act on it, even if it puts you at risk. When we analyze successful people, we often focus on the last step, execution. We hear about their morning routines or supplements they take because these are easy to observe and replicate, but execution alone doesn't determine the level of success. Steve Jobs wasn't iconic because he woke up early or ate fruit. He was visionary because he foresaw that computers would be a household item long before others did and was right about it. Warren Buffett, on the other hand, eats a basic breakfast from McDonald's daily and still dominates investing. Not because of dietary habits, but because of his unique, correct insights. Execution is often overhyped. Sure, it's vital, but finding that one decision that amplifies your outcomes by 100x is the real game changer. This kind of rare insight is what sets people apart, not following generic productivity tips or routines. Just copying what someone successful did won't replicate their success for you. To make it clear, anyone can put in the work. The true challenge is being a correct contrarian, questioning common beliefs and holding on to your vision even when doubted. Steve Jobs, for instance, had plenty of critics and was even ousted from his own company for his intense style. Major breakthroughs often start as ideas that others find absurd. Reflecting on my own journey, while I've worked hard for 15 years and achieved substantial milestones, most of my big wins came from 2 or 3 major unconventional decisions. Warren Buffett himself said that in his 58 years of managing Berkshire Hathaway, only about a dozen truly outstanding decisions drove their results. This highlights the importance of key choices over day-to-day habits. It's easy to think that being an early riser or using the right productivity app is the secret. But in reality, successful people are not necessarily following strict routines. Real success is messy and doesn't follow a simple formula. Winston Churchill, for example, was known for running a country during a war while sipping scotch in a bathtub. Now, why might you not want to chase being in that top 1%? First, contrarians aren't often well liked. Many people crave success, believing it will bring them approval, but it often leads to the opposite. When I quit my job in 2008 to focus on my online business, my friends and even some family members doubted me. Some even avoided me. Extreme success is only valuable if it comes from pursuing a meaningful, correct, contrarian idea. And ironically, it improves only the relationships that didn't need fixing in the first place. Additionally, you'll be wrong more times than you're right with contrarian ideas. The challenge is sticking with the right one, even when faced with doubt and failure. Lastly, success doesn't guarantee happiness. It magnifies who you are. If you're unhappy, it'll intensify that unhappiness. If you have solid relationships, they'll likely grow stronger. Ultimately, success should stem from passion and the pursuit of meaningful ideas, not just the desire for external rewards. If your goal is just wealth or superficial status, you may want to reconsider. Before striving for extreme success, take a step back and reflect on what truly matters to you. Setting the right definition of success for yourself will guide you much further than simply chasing it for the sake of being better than others. To understand why being in the top 1% might not be as desirable as it seems, you need to consider the sacrifices that come with it. The reality is, most ultra-successful people have faced periods of intense isolation and doubt. It's not just about winning, it's about being willing to walk a path that most people wouldn't even consider. The pressure to maintain that level of success can be immense, and not everyone is built for it. One of the hardest truths to accept is that extreme success does not always translate to happiness or fulfillment. In fact, for many, the more they achieve, the more they feel an emptiness that success can't fill. It's easy to imagine that reaching the pinnacle will bring joy and contentment, but it often magnifies whatever emotions or issues were already present. Success amplifies who you already are. If you're content, confident, and surrounded by supportive relationships, success can enrich your life. But if you're battling insecurity or unresolved issues, it can turn those problems into mountains. This is why many highly successful people advocate for working on your inner self as much as your career or business ventures. Let's talk about one more crucial point: sustainability. Anyone can push themselves to extremes for a short period, but maintaining long-term success is another game entirely. It's not just about getting ahead, it's about staying there without burning out or losing your sense of self. True success involves balance, resilience, and knowing when to pivot or step back. So, before you rush to mimic the routines of billionaires or chase after every trend that promises success, stop and ask yourself, what do I actually want? Why do I want it? These questions might sound simple, but they can lead to answers that will guide you more effectively than any productivity hack or life coach ever could. Ultimately, the journey to success is personal. It's not about following a set path, but creating your own, one that aligns with your values, your goals, and your idea of fulfillment. Only then can you define success on your own terms and find peace and satisfaction in what you do. Think about it. Industries evolve, technology advances, and markets shift. The ability to recognize when your strategy needs to change is a skill often overlooked in conventional success advice. Sticking rigidly to a plan without accounting for new information or changing circumstances can be a fatal flaw. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. He didn't just invent the light bulb and rest on his laurels. He continuously experimented and adapted his methods over thousands of tries until he found what worked. That perseverance, coupled with the willingness to learn and shift course, set him apart from others who gave up too soon. So, the next time you're strategizing your path to success, remember this: staying open-minded, being willing to unlearn outdated beliefs, and adapting to the present moment can be far more powerful than sticking to a rigid plan. Adaptability combined with insight and execution is what keeps you ahead not just today, but for the long run. In conclusion, don't be fooled by the oversimplified narratives about success that flood the internet. The path to extraordinary achievement is nuanced and often non-linear. Embrace the complexities, work on your unique strengths, and be prepared to forge your own path. True success is a journey, not a checklist. The end? Subscribe to my channel and put likes on the video. See you soon, friends.